Hi friends, this video is going to be about how grief and love are so deeply connected. If you're going through grief and it feels unbearable, there's something really important I want you to know. The pain isn't something to fight, it's something to expand around. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Because grief and love, well, they exist on the same spectrum. The more we push the pain away, the more we also push away our love. But there's another way. Stick with me here for just a few minutes, and I'll show you how expanding your window of tolerance can help you move through grief in a way that actually leads towards healing and not just survival. And at the end, I'll share a quick, simple practice, a 4-step practice that can help you start expanding your emotional capacity today. So when we lose someone or something dear to us, our love that we once gave has nowhere to be expressed. That's one reason it feels so painful. It's not just sadness, it's love looking for a home. I oftentimes picture like being so thirsty and reaching for a cup of water that just keeps getting out of reach and out of reach and out of reach. Well, our nervous system has something called the window of tolerance, which refers to our range of motion that we can handle without feeling completely overwhelmed. So if your window is too narrow, emotions like sadness and loss and even love can be too much to bear. And when we suppress emotions instead of expanding our capacity, and I talk about this a lot over my heart, expanding our capacity to feel them, grief can become suffocating and sufferable. So instead of trying to get rid of it, we want to learn the invitation. It's so hard is to learn to expand our emotional capacity so we can hold both love and loss at the same time. So 4 steps here. Number 1, name your feeling. So emotions are like waves, of course, right? If we don't acknowledge them, they come crashing into us. Anybody been blindsided by any of these? Yeah. Well, so we can try simply saying like, I feel deep sadness right now. Or I miss them so much, I feel despair. Whatever, resonates with you, but try this. Taking a deep breath in and naming one emotion you feel right now in this moment. Number 2, breathe into the emotion instead of resisting it. So I talk about this a lot in that when we're kind of hardwired to contract around our pain. Well, our emotions need to flow in and through. So the more we tighten up, the more unbearable it all becomes and it all feels. So maybe perhaps instead when grief arises, take a breath into it. Imagine making space for it in your body instead of shutting it down. That space allows for that flow of in and through, and that space allows for the love to be there. So try this next time. Next time you feel overwhelmed, place a hand on your heart. And what if you were to say something like, I am safe to feel this in my body, or I can be with this feeling. Maybe you make one of your own that feels like it's organic and and resonates with you. So number 3, small moments of self-compassion expand your capacity, expand your window of tolerance over time. So healing doesn't happen all at once, as we know. It happens in tiny moments of self-compassion. So every time you acknowledge your grief, instead of numbing it, your nervous system learns it's safe to feel. So self-compassion might sound like, it makes sense that this hurts so badly, or I'm allowed to take my time. How about, I am still worthy even in my deepest grief. Again, try one to see if it lands. And oftentimes self-compassion can be awkward, feel awkward, and not natural. So that's a practice, right? And number 4, take breaks. So taking breaks is healthy for our nervous system, yet we don't want to abandon ourselves. So feeling your emotions doesn't mean you have to drown in them. It's okay to step back when it's too much. So healthy distractions, a warm shower or bath, a walk, a movie, it's all perfectly okay. As long as you return back to yourself. You are not your grief. You are a person experiencing grief. And that means you can hold it without it consuming you. So I'll say this again, and I'll say it a lot, is love and pain exist on the same spectrum. If you want to live fully in love again, you have to make space for the pain too. The more we widen our ability, widen our tolerance, widen the process of sitting with our grief, the more our hearts are open to love again. So I want to leave you with this. What if instead, resisting that grief, contracting and tightening, you tried allowing to expand it, soften it, open it, in order to let the love in and in order to let the feelings move in and through? If this message resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Like, how do you hold space for your own emotions when grief gets overwhelming? And then subscribe if you want more tools for healing and emotional growth. And until next time, take good care.